Hi there, it's Nikki Cameron again, a holistic trauma recovery therapist and founder of Emergent Counseling and Consulting. So, I recently started providing updates regarding my own healing journey using EMDR from grief. And I wanted to come back on and provide another update. So, my therapist and I, like I shared last time, we had been working on the history and preparation stage so that we can start the processing stage of EMDR. And so we have started processing, and I just wanted to share with you um, the last session we met. Man, was it a ride, right? So I went in wanting to work on the distorted belief I had around the fact that I should have done more or could have done something more to save my grandmother. And during our processing, what started to unravel, oh my goodness, had nothing to do with my grandmother, would you know? It went all the way back to childhood issues wherein I had experiencing at the time I was experiencing financial trauma as a child with my family. And in the midst of that experience, I somehow um, developed this belief that it is my responsibility to make sure that my family is okay, that my family is fed, that my family is doing well. And so that has started coming up, and I'm not gonna lie, my entire digestive tract was talking. It was churning in my gut. It felt like a gut punch. I felt overwhelmed. I was able to ground myself. And because I was able to ground myself, I was able to get through it. However, I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed during the session because of realizing how much of a burden I have been carrying since childhood, with that belief that it is my responsibility to ensure that my family is okay. And I was able to reconnect to that younger version of myself, which is about 7 years old, and just encouraging her that it was never her responsibility to be taking on that care for her family. My mother was doing the best she can. Unfortunately, my father was not as committed. And so my mother was a single mother and had to do the best she could to provide for us. And on one particular instance, I remember wherein something happened and I felt that it was my responsibility to fix it. And that has somehow traveled with me until today, right? So I just spent a lot of time reassuring that version of me internally that it was never her responsibility, and, consoling her and soothing her and parenting her. And like I said to my therapist during processing, rationally, I know it's not my responsibility to take care of my entire family, meaning my siblings and my mother at the time. Rationally, I know that. However, emotionally, because of the feelings of helplessness I felt as a child, and I know my mother was feeling at the time, I internalized that because children tend to be eccentric, and children tend to assume when things are going wrong that it is their fault. And that's what I did. So rationally, I know it was never my responsibility. However, emotionally, because of the feelings of helplessness I felt in that situation, I made it my responsibility. So I'm happy to report, after processing now day 4, that my system feels more whole, more integrated. And so when I think back about that younger version of me and that belief, it is not as disturbing. When I think about my grandmother's death and me feeling like I should have done more, I don't feel as disturbed by the memory anymore. I started at a 7 out of 10. I think I'm down now to maybe a 4 out of 10. So there's still more that needs to be processed, and I'm sure there's more that will come up. And I will come back on and share with you as I experience it. What did I do to take care of myself after the session? I use EFT tapping. I tap like hell. I did a lot of breath work. I slept. I tried as best as I possibly could to get sleep. I tapped into people who I know love and support me dearly. Not very many people, because I try to keep my tribe small, and people who value relationships, not superficial, but deep rooted love I feel from these people, some of them my family. So I was able to reach out to them for support, and cried with them, and they prayed with me, and we talked it out. And so that has been very helpful for me. And my significant other, of course, has been very supportive. So I just wanted to share with you that even though the session has ended, you still have to do your part to take care of yourself, because the processing was stressful for my body. All kinds of emotions were uprooted during processing. And I knew afterwards that even though I sobbed and I felt a sense of relief, that I needed to be intentional about taking care of my body the way I would take care of a baby who was distressed. So I feel rested, I feel more centered, and I'm actually looking forward to the next session. So as I said, I will continue to share my journey with you in hope that it will inspire you to get the help that you deserve to work on any traumatic experiences you may have. And if you are going through EMDR, that it will validate your experience with you, and that you'll keep going, because you deserve to heal. You deserve support. So until next time, be kind to yourself, because you deserve it. Take care.